Martin dreams of owning a cocktail bar on a moonlit beach. Now
Good evening everybody and welcome to the studio this evening. I still feel like saying, and on tonight's programme. And on tonight's programme we're going to carry on with some more of this leopard. So let me get my reference picture on screen and move that out the way over there. Right, let's give this a little bit of a sharpen. And decide just what bit I'm going to do now. Not altogether sure. I think it's just going to be a case of carry on from where we left off. Yeah, easy enough to say, but when you're faced with hundreds of black dots, it's a completely different matter. And you can stop twitching your tail. Don't have a junior tonight, at least not yet. We have a Cleo, who is currently sat on my knee. Okay, so we've got some That's going out towards the. I think I'll fill that bit in up top first. So I've essentially got lots and lots of tiny black dots. Uni tomorrow. Well, welcome to the studio this evening, Fluffy Twiglet. I've got work tomorrow. I suppose at least I get paid for that. But you get to enjoy yourself. All this time looking forward to going back to university. Now you're going, kind of a change of tune. Now it's actually happening, is it? The centre line is up there, roughly. So kind of lots and lots of little tiny black dots. That's a bit loud for me. I'll just turn that volume down a little bit. Let's have a look at which one it is. There we go. Yeah, just lots and lots and lots of tiny black dots. I'm going to say the same thing I always say. Why did I choose a leopard? Okay. A happy arg. Okay. Not quite sure what one of those is, but I'll believe you. So I got small dots around the face, and they get bigger as they get further away, sort of. Okay. Music indeed. It'll be fairly sort of music, but at least it's something in the background. Don't mind it too much. Courtesy of Purple Planet Music. As it says below the stream window. Royalty free, royalty and license. No, it's not license free, but there is a license available that allows me to play the music. Right, there's sort of hairs in front of the ears there, so I'm not going to go too far into that area just yet. And back to the old problem of how do you do random things? Because of course as humans we're also fixated on pattern matching that it's really hard to do random. Hello. I have a pussycat down here. She's there. Cleo, you going to look up? I said look up, not stand up. She decided she was going to sit on my knee tonight. You're going to settle back down again now? Will I get back on with drawing? Yeah, that's it. You settle back down again. That looked like enough. What's the hair look? Yeah, it goes like that, and it's fairly dark up the centre there. And essentially we haven't got any. I'm doing this backwards. Really be doing it from up here. Indeed, Cleo, that's correct. Correct spelling as well. If you recall, it's short for Cleocatra. Although she very rarely gets a Sunday name. So, Fluffy Twiggler, is it better with the music? I'm only half listening to it. Move that the way. Right. And we've got fairly dark hair across the back of the head, of course, because it's in the distance. Now this pen is frustrating at the moment. I'm wanting to make fairly fine scratches and it's tending to want to do quite coarse ones. Clear from Pinocchio. Don't know that one. What's the character? What character's Cleo from Pinocchio? Pinocchio. Of course, she was named after Cleopatra, the Queen of the Cats. So. It's not bad. Yeah, that's about all you can say about it, isn't it? It's not bad music. I did try to be a little bit selective about it. Oh, goldfish. Goldfish? Goldfish? Pinocchio. That one I don't remember. Goldfish in Pinocchio. No, that one's definitely got me. I don't remember a goldfish in Pinocchio. I know you're probably talking about the Disney version, or whichever film studio it was, but I just realised this means I'm doing the whole face. So I'd kind of completely forgotten about possibly not doing the whole face. Yeah. That's a cute goldfish. Looks more like something from under the sea than what was that, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. And I'm only thinking of that because at the start of one of these tracks a minute ago sounded a bit like that. Is that it? Have I played that whole... I have. Okay. It didn't last very long. AA Link, thank you very much for following this evening. That's very kind of you. Put them on for a little while. Now I don't want to come down much past around the ears because we've got some quite long tufts to go in here. Should be a slightly different. These are really short scratches. The ear tufts or the ear hair that's around here will be quite long. So we'll come down to about there. Good evening, Just Jessup, good evening and welcome to the studio this evening. I'm not doing too bad, thank you, Just Jessup. And how are you doing? You're playing Prison Architect. Ah. That's a game I've seen people play, but has not been I haven't found particularly fascinating enough to want to play myself. But for the past couple of days, I've kind of been watching people play Space Engineers, and I'm thinking about maybe trying that out. There again, I ought to play a bit more Factorio as well, because I've had that for a while. You've just realised, yeah, you can call it music. Actually, they call it ambient music in this particular case. Just something to provide a background. That is not looking very good. Yeah, he's the one I was mainly been watching. Here's Direwolf. I ever since, well, for a long time, I've watched his Minecraft series, and his style of play, shall we say, tends to match with mine. So. And the games that he appears to like playing are the ones that I kind of appear to like playing, so when I see him playing something, it's kind of a good recommendation. So I've been watching a few others as well. I should be doing, I think, is turn this around and doing it this way, upside down. And the reason for doing that, doing it upside down, is the style of stroke that I'm doing. If I was doing this airbrushing, would be called a dagger stroke, but I'm kind of putting the pen down and then dragging backwards. And it has a tendency to create a slight blob on the end, only very slightly, but that's very much like the root of a hair, and then it gets finer. As you drag it away, you tend to drag it out of the material, so you get like a hair-like scratch. And of course, if I do it the other way up, then the hair root's in the wrong place. Again, including yourself. Okay. I didn't think you could do that. Or you just play acting, shall we say. And it would be quite funny in the game. Or naming the game. I see. I was going to say it'd be quite funny in a way if you messed something up in the prison, then you kind of, as prison governor, you got put in there for 10 days or something. So, are you a model prisoner, or are you a disruptive prisoner? Aldo H, good afternoon, or in my case, good evening and welcome. This will look really faint because I'm not, at this point in time, not really looking to make it stand out. I want to get the hairs, the structure in, the black spots, and then can go back afterwards and increase some of the contrast levels and things like that. Especially as well as I want the top to be darker than the front anyway, so it's in the distance. Is that? I was kind of wishful joking type thing there, just Jessup, but I didn't actually know there was such a mechanism built into the game. That's quite funny. No, you've no need to look at the desk. You're not going on it. Go on, you're not that older lady. You can jump that distance. There she goes. Oh dear. Thank you, LDLH. Yeah, looking a bit better now that I'm putting more of it in. It kind of looked like holes earlier, like a Swiss cheese. And still on camera, it still looks a little bit odd to me. You want to get better at that then, just Jessup. No more insider trading. I think with with parole, you should be in there for 4 years. One thing I keep having to remind myself is that I've got to change the direction of the fur as I go. It's an arc. 3D Bloke, good evening and welcome. We've got LDLH around tonight. We've got Fluffy Twiggler and Just Jessup, who's just gone to jail. So you're going to be watching the lunar eclipse tonight, Free? Certainly up here it's a really clear night, and with it being a super moon it should be quite some spectacular pictures. Oh, it's cloudy. Oh, that's a pity. It's really clear up here, and of course the moon is really luminous at the moment here. I just don't want to stay till about 3:30 in the morning. And of course, the thought just crossed my mind. I know I did Earthrise, but wouldn't it, on this black ink here, wouldn't it be great to do a lunar picture like that? It could be quite a spectacular picture. Yeah, it is really bright, but it really is bright tonight, brighter than I've seen it for a while. Of course, it'll be a heck of a lot darker in eclipse, but that's about it, laser ambience. Have to be a little bit careful, because if I play something that's too beat heavy, I'll end up scratching to the beat, and that probably wouldn't turn out very well. Got some of the hair directions a little bit wrong there, but that's not a problem. Just need to curve them around a bit. The warriors. Not one I'm aware of. What's that about? I've not heard that one of that one, Free. Although I've already just sort of very gently marked in where I want to put some of the black spots, some of these are sort of just finding the wrong way in here. Just as I do the scratching, I just seem to leave a spot almost without thinking about it. God, that sounds complicated. You been watching? Oh, yeah. It's amazing how sometimes certain things just trigger you looking back at old stuff. These scratches just around here haven't come out quite as well. So the hairs don't look as fine just up here, so I'm gonna have to just I've probably been trying to work too fast. I'll just go back over this area again. I need it a little bit brighter anyway, and just take a little bit more care with the scratching. Well, relaxing music, you see. Yeah, I suppose it would be for KSP. Yeah, I am hoping I'm not spoiling this, but we shall see. What I was going to do is just file that a little bit more. As I've been learning what I'm doing with Scraperboard like this, it's amazing how the pen feels, differently. Like I've just made it a little bit more pointy and sharp, and and it's almost like a completely different tool, and the scratches I'm getting with it are completely different to a moment ago before I just sharpened up the point. Doing this, I definitely need something quite sharp to get the hairs, otherwise it looks not as good as it could be. I do find it quite amazing how just C6103, thank you very much for following. I do find it quite amazing how what is just effectively China clay soft material blunts the point on these tools really quickly. Perhaps then, Leah, my job here is done, as they say. Yeah, I was considering that. Probably just the eyes, though, Fluffy Twiglet, I was thinking. Leaving the rest exactly as it is. When I finished it, that is. So leaving the rest in black and white, and just like I did the green grass of the cottage. Thinking of an orange colour. I mean, that red would be a typical sort of colour for something like this, but I was thinking just an actual goldy, I don't know, goldy orange, goldy yellow sort of colour. Rich blue. Interesting. Cool, a cold blue maybe. That was my sort of first thought, Laser, in that sort of range, but I mean, Fluffy is right as well. That sort of a blue colour could be quite striking. Hmm. I'm not going to take a vote on it, but that's a bit too bright, but that's my own fault. I can get away with it for the moment. We'll see how it goes. I understand what you mean, C6103. That's one of the tricks of being able to do something like this is, or one of the skills, I guess, is to give the impression that you're actually seeing the colour even when it's not actually there. Yeah, it's coming out a bit brighter than I want it to do. Okay, free. That made me jump, Cat Girl. Cat Girl 429, thank you very much for following. It's somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning, I think, is a full eclipse. Not quite sure though the exact time. I just thought my wife's camera has a it's not an SLR or anything, but it's got quite a nice feature which I can from a smartphone you can do remote viewing and remote control, which is quite clever, because if it works over Wi-Fi, over its own Wi-Fi, so it depends on, I don't know what the exact range is, but that'd be quite a nice one outside, and you're inside in the nice and warm, and you can look at the picture, look at the viewfinder on your smartphone. Between 1 and 3. Okay. Well, one end at 6:24. Yeah. Catgirl 429. Thank you very much for that. Well, doesn't popular legend have the fact that all university students go into lectures just to sleep? Yeah, very likely, yeah. Oh, no, this is just, just an app on the phone, and it's quite good when you want to take pictures over the top of people's heads, of course, because you can hold it up and angle it however you like, because of course you don't need to look through a viewfinder or start adjusting a flip screen or anything. You can just look at it with your certainly in the UK layers are. I don't know about anywhere else. I don't know which countries it will be visible from. It's supposed to be an especially good one tonight though, because the moon is just about its closest approach to the Earth. Which makes it somewhat larger than normal. Yeah, that's about right. It's kind of weird in a way doing this, because it's normally if you're using references you're trying to be quite close to whatever the references are that you're using, sort of, but here I'm just I just feel like putting it, or the pen doesn't quite go where I want it to go, and I end up with a slightly black, and I tell you what, I'm just going to put a black spot there. It's kind of weird. Well, isn't every lunar eclipse a blood moon free? I think that's kind of just the way it is. Obviously, solar eclipses are different, but Yeah. Okay, Trouble Conquest, that's fantastic. I don't do this all the time though. I do this about once for about 2 weeks in every 10. But I should be doing this for a little bit longer yet. Think of it. Well, if you can use a pencil for drawing, think of it a bit like the same, but instead of drawing in black, you're drawing in white. So if you don't think of it as scraping, but think of it as drawing with white pencil, you might find it easier. And the other thing I find it's for me that I find it easier is if I work really light as much as I can, then you can always go back over it and increase the brightness. And you obviously have done it, but don't forget, of course, you don't have to scratch. You can stipple, and you can use other tools as well to create very fine scratches. So it doesn't have to be a pointy tool or anything like that. A piece of sandpaper, for example, or wire wool, something like that. You don't always necessarily know quite what they're going to do, as much as when you've got a hard point like this, but they can produce some really good effects, so I understand. Although I should also caution you as well, Trouble Conquest, this is my fourth Scraperboard. It's the fourth one I've done, so my experience of doing it is really limited. And that's the follow. Thank you very much, Trouble Conquest. No, unfortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, no, it literally is my fourth, and all four have been done on stream. Yep, okay, Trouble Conquest. Have fun looking around. There's quite a lot of very interesting artists doing all sorts of stuff on creative. Enjoy your time. Yeah, Moonbot, I know that. What's it look like? That's going to look weird until I've done the other half and some of the ears as well, I think. Should I do some of the ear tufts? Yeah, that might be a good idea at this point. Wasn't necessarily as good an idea as that. Before I do those, I need to do what's behind them so that these go over the top, which means that what I've got to do is the ears. Which is a stipple. A bit wider stipple on that. Okay, that's good. So we can come out to about there. feel a bit like a tattoo machine doing this. Which is an interesting idea for a stipple picture, would be to literally to use one. So quite a wide area around of the ears down to about here. You were saying something about a their layers are? Let me back in a little bit. I do LDH, but if I do that, then what's happening is you're playing copyright music, and that means that the video will be the recorded video would be silenced, which I don't want to happen. Yeah, yeah, that's the problem with clear skies. It was getting quite cool out there, as you say. Yeah, that's true as well, Free. No, it's true. But it is mainly, well, it's not exactly a copyright issue, it's a license issue. If you got the license to play copyright music, then it's fine. It's not the copyright per se as such. And indeed, this that's playing now is copyrighted music. It's just that there is a license available which allows me to play it. But yes, the trolls, the trolls. And the thought that came to mind just as it was the plane, the plane. If you can remember that reference. Oh, I don't think that that comes into it all that much. Aldel H. I think it had some either the very first or second day that I streamed. So. Yeah, I don't see the point of it myself, to be honest. Now I'm trying to do little tiny fine hairs here, just trying to get it really sort of them really close to each other, just to create like a little, almost a velvety look. when you're trying to do that, you want a really sharp point, because otherwise it gets really irritating. Yeah, LH, that's true. Or maybe even less. You might not have seen, but I have. 20 minutes. You're going to settle for 20? You guys can't. I was just about to see what I can see. Somebody last night mentioned a clock. They have a little bit like that at times, especially when for food. But there's no food here. That would be that would fall into creative, I suppose. 3D block. Yeah, it is about the same time as last night. Go on then, you settle down while I do this. Or you settle down while I try and do this. Because now it's going to get a bit awkward with a pussycat in front of me. And one that's going to start pushing on my arm, which is what he's doing. Am I actually... No, I'm not. Hello. Oh, I see, LDLH. You're trying to stop the stream. Now, because the cat's here, I'm working at more of an angle than I normally would, and one of the difficulties of this is, one of the things you can do with this sometimes, instead of scratching the surface, you can actually just indent it. But because that reflects the light differently, it looks like a scratch to me, until I tip it up and I can't see a thing. Yeah, that's right, Just Jessup. Indeed, he is extremely cute until he gets irritated. Shadow Mark 3, thank you. And yes, indeed, you're a cool cat. C6103, thank you. He is. Oh, I see, Fred. That's why the moon's come closer, is it? You got the same gravitational effect. I'm kind of hoping for a little bit he's just going to sit here. Yeah, hello. I'm guessing he's actually just keeps appearing, doesn't he, on off the bottom of the frame there. It could well be free. It could well be. Oh, he hasn't done it this time. He's sort of, but not quite. Mrs. Zaraganat was just sneezing there, and when you sneeze quite often, Junior will just squeak. He kind of like says in squeak language, "Bless you." Indeed. Mrs. Zaraganat just Jessup. Hello. That movement has got absolutely nothing to do with me, and I'm off the top of the frame, aren't I? That's Junior doing that. It's like trying to draw on a train, you know, and as you're moving around, you just think, oh, this is a nice steady bit, and you put pencil down on the paper, and it suddenly go around a curve. No, yeah, he's not trying to scrape by himself, because if he was, he'd be trying to put his paws on here. But he's trying to suggest what the scratches that I should be making. You see. Hello. Indeed. Well, it's yeah, you know, it's like these powered jigsaws, you know, that go up and down, that power the jigsaws rather than you have to do it by hand. You know, so I don't have to do the scraping. You know, the Junior powers the movement, and I just put it down on the board at the right point. Don't we? Yes, there's another cat over there, Junior. He just heard Cleo meow. Now this is kind of like the inner ear hair. Boy, is that difficult to say. And it's really fine, smooth, silky hair. So I'm trying to sort of recreate that a little bit, but what would probably be a better tool for doing this would be something like a fiberglass pencil. You know, the sort of stuff. Well, if you're familiar with rubbing rust off of cars, small spots of it, you use like a fiberglass pencil, which is effectively lots and lots of strands of fiberglass bunched really hard together into quite a small sort of tip, a bit like the eraser on the back of a pencil, and you use that, and as it rubs the rust off, it breaks little slivers of the fiberglass off, so it stays sharp. Something like this, that on Scraperboard, would produce really fine lines, but getting into a constrained area could be quite difficult. They're trying quite hard tonight, aren't they? That is the intention, LDLH, to do perhaps more some of the pyrography things like the trees. I mean, I've no particular. I'm not sure which of these I want to keep and which ones I don't want to keep, but I've no particular objection to sort of selling them on there or on the website when it goes live. But the kind of the problem is finding a realistic price. An actual, a price which is, I mean, you can pick a price. You can go really silly, or if you base it on how long it's taken to do this, for example. I mean, I think we've been doing this now about five days. It's about 10 hours at least so far. So they're not going to be cheap. And having said that, if anybody's interested, just drop me a Twitch message. You're funny tonight, Junior. Normally you have to stroke him to get him to settle down. Tonight he's just settled down of his own accord. Okay, yes, that is true, old LH. That's still 6 hours, and we're about a third done. Yeah, it is kind of an awkward equation, is that, Free? I kind of had the same thing when I was doing the jewellery. It's not so bad, I guess, just for you with the big art pieces there. Yeah, Elder H, it's a good idea. I got a website actually, which I've in the process of working on slowly, but it's getting there. Yeah, and DeviantArt is a place, but it's, as Free says, it is a somewhat saturated place. Imagine there's a lot of places are these days, so it's a really difficult market to get into in a way. And see. Oh, don't worry about that. 6130. But of course, if you want to help 6130, what you do is just pass on the link to anybody else. Gonna have to watch that ear it's getting a little bit light. I'm gonna have to lighten the stippling around it as well. Yeah, I mean, it all, in theory, Aldo H, it all helps. It's just finding the time to do all of that, though. And I know it sounds daft when this takes something like 2 weeks to do, but then, the jewellery stuff, for example, takes an hour or 2 hours. Well, some of it takes 5 or 10, but. The effect of the ear pumping from the head. Not quite sure I understand that reference, Elder LH. Thank you, 6130. Yeah, I think I need to make this stippling a little bright. It should be about the same as this, so that they have effectively the same colour. As Alant, thank you very much for following the studio. Ah, okay. No, it's alright. It's I need to do the background so that there's hair then which is in the ear and the hair on the head which will go across the top of it, in front of it. So I need to do the stuff behind, because the scratches, you'll actually see the scratches as hairs, and they will actually, what's on top will actually appear on top. So if I did these first and then did the inner ear, the hairs would look odd. You'd get a very funny sort of inverse 3D effect that would make your eyes look a little odd, and it just wouldn't look as realistic. So that's why I'm working on there, and getting it integrated with the head is going to be a bit of a challenge to get the brightnesses right, and it's getting, you know, this is actually turned out to be a lot lighter than I intended it to. It's not so bad actually, because it is relatively light, but I do need to be a bit more careful and make the inner, the bit that I'm working on down this side, be and the bottom edge of the ear here to be quite a bit darker. Otherwise, it's going to look in the wrong place. That's true, 3D. That's true. It would be nice if people thought that way, 6130, and I guess if it works that way over there, then great. Yeah, okay, LH, I know what you mean. It's in progress stuff. Might see. It's see how it goes. I'm going to have to integrate that areas. It's a pity it's come out lighter than I wanted it to. It really depends on, I'm going to have to fade it a little bit down here. I mean, it's the top of the head, and then we've got the forehead which dips down. Might have to just lighten a little bit more around between the eyes here, and possibly a little bit more just around the base of the nose, just to fade it a little bit. It's come out a bit bright. Yeah, I keep thinking about there as well, Free. It's kind of a chicken and egg, though. It's the same with Twitch, etc. You've got to. It takes work to get to the point where people will see things and therefore come back and look. If you see what I mean, so you build the audience, and it takes a while. And it's, you know, it'll take a while to do that as well. It seems to be moving. And that's possibly just the encoding that's doing that to you, LH. It could be fluttering a little bit because it's very fine lines. Cameras always have problems with an encoding as well. Always have problems with very fine lines. On television sets, you get an effect called colour fringing, where if there's too many fine lines together, it simulates the colour signal. That's part of the image on televisions, and you get this sort of weird colours going on. The camera might be having a similar effect because there's two things going on. This is a 1980 by 1080 pixel camera, which I am telling OBS to reduce that down to a 1080 by 720 before it encodes it. So it's doing a lot of interpretation. So it could well be that it's just the fact that there's so many fine lines that's driving the electronics a little bit batty. The other thing possibly is the scrolling across the top is fooling your eyes a little bit. Okay, I've not looked into it, Free, so I don't know anything about it. I mean, it would be a sort of a normal profile, I guess, that I would be doing that under, just under Zaragan Art. So trouble is, I kind of really don't understand the site, so I maybe have to have a look into it at some point. Anyway, guys, it's 10 past 10. I've got to do some work on some of these. I can see the outlines that I put in. So note to self, when I do this bit and the rest, don't put outlines of the black spots in. Yeah, it would only be just as there. Rick CXD, welcome, good evening. Unfortunately, you've arrived just at the end. Yeah. It's now 10 past 10, so unfortunately it's about time to stop for this evening. But there's been a fair bit done tonight. Quite a lot of the forehead, and or half the lot of the forehead and the ear. We're working on that. So what I'm going to do is say to anybody that's watching, there's an advert being running across the top of the screen. I can't get my finger in the right place there. And Moobot's been popping up in the stream from time to time. In fact, I suppose if I go... Is it that one? I can't even remember my own command. Which helps if you also type it in chat. There we go. Yes, for the Etsy shop, it's only jewellery that's in there at the moment. We'll be working on maybe putting some pyrography into there. Maybe these things in the future, don't know about that. So I encourage you, anybody who wants to take a look, pass it on to the link on to anybody that you feel like. There is, as it says, an introductory offer, 5% off for the rest of this month, which isn't very long now. But apart from that, anybody else who's watching the stream and isn't following, and why you wouldn't want to follow both this pussycat and this pussycat, I don't know. But there you go. If you do, push the follow button. If you don't want to, though, it's quite alright. You can also get notifications not only from Twitch, but from Twitter, @ZaraganArt, also below the stream window. And on the other hand, just want to try and catch me next stream, will be tomorrow night, 8 PM UK time, 1900 hours UTC, or about 2 hours and 10 minutes ago. So thank you all for watching. It has been fun. I hope I will see you in the studio tomorrow, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.